Now, on Mondays on the show, we like to feature an SME, find out how they're doing, how they're making money, and how they're doing generally in the Nigerian economy. And Easy Fit is the SME that we're going to be featuring today, a bespoke footwear company, especially targeted at individuals with big foot. And they have the aim of satisfying the incessant hunger for quality of footwears in the Nigerian market and beyond. And joining us this morning to talk about how he has been able to do a great job in building this business over the past 5 years or so is the CEO and founder of this of Easy Fit, who is Paul Ibe, joining us. So good to have you join us on the show.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So talk to us about Easy Fit and this business, how it started for you.
Wow. Easy Fit, like I said, we specialize in the production and distribution of bespoke footwears. And it actually started like a blessing in disguise kind of thing. So like every other person, I got my call-up letter to serve in the north. Of course, nobody wants to go to the north. You'd always want to pray for a very good PPA so that you can, get retained afterwards. But then it came calling and I had to obey the clarion call. And I think unfortunately for me, I went packing my baggages. I just packed a sneaker and then my Easy Fit sandals. You should know I'm actually 6'7" last time I checked, and people like us have very big foot. And that sandal at that time was like the first of its kind. It wasn't common.
So you made the sandal yourself?
Yes, yes. So it wasn't common. So I had to, that was the only thing I picked up. It was when I got to the camp that I discovered I had just 2 sneakers. And fortunately, when we were collecting our khaki, our uniform, I couldn't get my size. The boot size was not there.
So there
was no boot
size
to wear.
at the NYSC camp.
There was no boot to wear. So I think I got the license to wear anything I could, just to put on something.
Because of the size of your
because of the size of my foot. So I think that was like my first official marketing for my footwear brand. But then
you didn't realize that there's a niche in this area, and the fact that people usually don't pay attention to folks that have big feet.
Yeah, sure. As in, that was when it clicked, because I wore it, I was different from every other person. It got attention, and then it got the attention of the state coordinator, who called me and was like, why putting on a different footwear from every other person? Of course, I explained my ordeal, and he smiled, pat me on the shoulder, and said he has a brother that has a similar issues, and he couldn't get his size and all that. And I was like, if there's a way I could make something of that same nature for him, and I said, why not? And there, I made 2 for him, and lo and behold, before service year finished, or should I say before the 3 weeks orientation camp, I was able to get over like 15 orders.
15 orders.
On
so
the spot.
That's essentially a business starting off from there.
That was how the business started.
So let's then go into the journey itself, because now it's moved from just being a hobby or a talent that you had to something that now you can do as a business, and you've been running it for about 5 years now. So tell us how this 5-year journey has been, especially when you started to make this a proper business.
Well, it's been awesome. It's been awesome, I must say. Awesome because it's a market that doesn't target just everyone, and the people you are targeting are actually very few. And once you are able to meet their demands according to their specifications, they come back for more. The incessant drive for footwear is something that can be satisfied. So once they come in and they start requesting for more, it's an opportunity to tell them you have other stuffs. And they'll be like, if you can make this one well, then of course you can make the other one. So the customer base started growing.
You spoke about a niche market, and for niche markets, it means that you a lot of times have to go out and look for these people, or rely on a lot of word of mouth. So how does your marketing work for this particular business? Okay,
that's where skill will come into play. Aside being a footwear producer, I am also a digital marketing strategist. So that was one of the guinea pigs, the business itself. After bagging my certifications, Google, Twitter, and everywhere, I was like, okay, it's high time you have to get a guinea pig in order to prove that you have what it takes to storm this industry.
Right.
Of course, you can't just learn. You also have to have a proof to show to the world that you know your onions very well. So EasyFit came into play. And just like it was actually different from every other person because I noticed that the Lagos market is actually saturated. And if you want to say you want to start trying to penetrate into the market, you have too much of competitors.
Yeah.
So my skill, which came in handy at that point, I was able to target outside Lagos, even while in Lagos.
That was your products?
Yes, my product. So I will tell you that 70% of the customers that get EasyFit footwear are either from the north or from the southwest.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And when you obviously, I mean, this 5-year journey, there'll be some specific things that you've learned across various touch points up until, I mean, we're in 2020 now. But how would you say that you transfer the skills? I mean, it's one thing to get 15 orders in the 3-week period in NYSC camp. It's a whole different ball game if you're serving 36 states. Yeah. So how do you transfer those skills to new people that come in and ensure that you maintain the quality and the standard of the business? Okay,
5 years, during my 5-year journey, I don't just learn some other skills. I also ensure that I go for trainings in order to equip my management skills at the same time. So in business, I've come to understand that if you try to do everything at the same time, you might end up overwhelming and burning yourself. So what I did was I have this particular trusted footwear producer that has been making footwear for me ever since I was 15. Wow. Because I've been having that issue. So when this business started picking up and I knew it was going to be difficult navigating so many things at the same time, we've built trust over time. So I just called him up and he was actually good at producing those stuffs. As a matter of fact, he made the very first. Yeah. So from there, I had to learn because I knew where I was going to. So I entered into partnership with him. I said, okay, why not handle some part of the production aspect while I supervise and also do the marketing.
Distribution.
So he's specialized in that area, and I'm also specialized in breaking down.
And I wish you all the best. I mean, you've done 5 years. Here's hoping that we'll have another sit down together in the next maybe 2 years and see what other dimension the business has gone into. Yeah, it's good to have you join us on the show.